Hello, everybody. Welcome to the arena. I'm the Basilisk, joined by Theronth. We've got literally triggered here in this fairly standard, I think, from them, two armor battleship core. They seem to quite like this. Last year, I think they used a lot of the Tempest fleets, but this time they're going for Vindicator, Megathron Navy. So pretty heavy armor core. They're backed up with sort of assorted armor smaller than you tend to expect in this kind of two armor battleship setup. So Magus, Pontifex for Lynx, Hyena, Keres, Malum, Maulus. So just a lot of E-War support in the low end there.
Interestingly, the Guardian ban, they opted to ban the Guardian, but they still brought an Augur. Is it like they were really worried that the Guardian would be fielded by the other team? But still bring the Armology, and we are off. The Vindicator is charging forward, while the Megatrons are also coming in, so both teams are roll.
Immediately Telly Merlin in the Mauler out of the arena. He's gone. Those Mauler stamps are not going to be happening, and the Keres of Healer is looking pretty soon to follow. The one thing I do want to be careful of for till Doomsday here is the Logi frigates, the Deacon that they've got. If he gets in range of the Vindicator, the Vindy webs can be absolutely devastating. So they are, in fact, deciding to just pump straight through the Vindy here with all the damage while they still haven't taken any losses. Just get that Vindy off the field, stop him applying those webs, and it will help to stabilize, anything that's taking damage. And if he has the ability to swap to the Logi frigates to stabilize the Logi frigate as well.
It is an interesting choice to go in with all those Prophecy Navies and Augur and the Absolution, as they all are sporting the long-range guns. This is what's killing those dumping ships on the end of Eltric. And now the Hyena is also taking damage, so he's not going to be long for this world at the moment they start tracking. At the same time, the Vindicator is taking damage, and he's bleeding structure right now. So I think after he dies, it will be really difficult to come back from this.
Yeah, it's excuse me. It's he's just getting absolutely pumped right now. He's sat on top of the Megathron Navy, so those two are pumping each other, Elias and Lumahan. But of course, you've got the Absolution, you've got the Prophecy Navies, you've got the Augur Navies, and they're basically just stationary, parked up at their optimal range, just blasting into this Vindicator, and he is going into hull now. And as you say, with losing those webs and the DPS from the Vindicator, it's going to be a big, big loss for the team. And obviously, the Augur as well of Lax Boozer is going down, and the Deacon and Thalia are basically untouched. And I really doubt the ability of literally Triggered to actually deal with the Deacon and Thalia at all without the Vindicator web. I mean, they've got webs on the Hyena, but it's still just not quite enough when you've got two battleships for your damage.
Both the Logi and the Vindicator anchor of the team basically die at the same time. It's interesting to see that the Augur was actually trying to run away from Malediction and Confessor and slowing down and picking up speed, so there was definitely some capacity problems over there. Maybe it's just an Augur, it doesn't have much cap, and wrapping up takes a lot of it. They were going to lose the Crusader most likely over here on the Doomsday side, but I don't think this is going to matter anyway.
Yeah, that's just a little bit of solo PvPing in the low end there, where you've got the Confessors out fighting each other. You've got a swarm of rep bots over there as well. It's just a little bit of sort of low end fighting, but ultimately it's not going to matter here because there's just not going to be any damage left from the top end of the Megathron Navy here. Geronimo is going to go down.
They do lose the Megathron Navy, but the Eltric one is sure to follow in a couple of seconds now, as well as the Ponti. Well, do you think they could have done anything better over here?
I think they needed to get the Vindy onto the Logi frigates. I think if you leave the Logi frigates alive, it makes the match very, very difficult. I think having the Hyena webs to start it off, get that initial grab on one of the Logi frigates, and then roll the Vindy up, put the Vindy web on it, and then just blap it out of the sky. I think you need to do that at the start, because if you leave it until the match goes on and maybe your Vindy's chunked and you lose it, or you can't get onto the Logi frigates, it's tackled by something else, it just makes it a very, very difficult scenario to come back from.
At the same time, they did have Armageddon, so I wonder if this Armageddon, how impactful it was on the Till Doomsday side, because both Augur and Navy and the Deacons and the Confessor, they can be basically alphaed by the heavy newt, and this is going to make the job of chasing and shooting. And as I say, that Megatron Navy on the Eltric goes down. But this lone Armageddon, I wonder if it couldn't have been utilized in a way so that you can get rid of at least some DPS, so your Vindy has easier time tracking and you can actually put him to work. Because as you said, Baza, even the Hyena is not going to be enough to kill a Deacon. 1 man or 10 men enable that Mega Navy to track and really apply as DPS. The Vindy webs are something that a unique thing that you cannot really replicate that way.
Yeah, I saw a really interesting, not to get too maths nerdy like I did last night, but I saw a really interesting chart the other day that basically showed the effects of different numbers of webs and how they stack up on each other. And it was something like 4 normal Tech 2 webs, so 60% webs on an unbonused hull, something like that is the equivalent in terms of tracking bonus from one Vindiweb. So Vindiwebs are insanely powerful, and you need to stop those ships if you're going to try and kill the Deacon and Thalia. The other thing is the mana. And you can alpha their cat, but they are going to have cat boosters to just boost it back up. But the Mala with the smaller medium newt cycle time is just, it's so oppressive if you can get it on one of the frigates.
Unfortunately, Vazatis one has a full rack of heavy pulses, so
oh dear, that
he's
is not a...
Usually, I would agree with you, but not in this case. The Mauler has actually taken over Vexor in a couple of years as a choice to Tech 1 Newt Cruiser, just because it's so tanky and has so much power grid. You can fit a full rack of mediums and don't even sweat it. The Armageddon is down for Electric side. The Hyena is sure to follow. So this is going to be a clean victory. Unfortunately, they've lost the Navy Mega themselves and the Crusader, but Team Doomsday are advancing for the bracket.
Yeah, and I'm glad for this because I get points. That was a great ratio on that one. I think it was like 20% of Twitch points were on Till Doomsday, so I'm going to get 5-1 return on my 20,000 points there. Let's go.
It's good to see that at least one of the alliances that live in the south that has been liberated from the oppressive grasp of the Fire Coalition a couple months ago is going to go into the main event. And the Mauler is down, and then we go for the Magus, and that's it pretty much.